Albion Park Taco Bell. We're trying, I think, the first chip of the chip trip. Good. Kind of cold, a little soggy. It's a bit average, you're right. It's edible. I'd probably give it like a, maybe a 6 out of 10. You could do better because they're a bit cold.
These ones are corn chips. The corn chips taste like nothing, but the seasoning, it's there. Overall, probably like 3 out of 10.
First impressions, very nice shape. You know, this is very lovely, kind of, you know, got the bendy end, you know, a little bit hard on this end, but, you know, acceptable, within the range of error.
Really nice, thick chip density here.
Let's have a bite, shall we?
Definitely frozen beforehand and just fried.
Salt, impeccable. Very nice application of salt.
Nice amount of crunch, really nice and soft on the inside. Haven't had a dry one yet, which is good.
The salt coverage is excellent. Some of the best chips we've had so far.
Warmth is good. A touch on the, like, you know, burning mouth side, you know, that can be dealt with. Potato on the inside, very nice.
As for these chips, I think they're good. Color's a little concerning, but that's okay because it means there's chicken salt on them.
Very good for a place like this, you know.
Salt coverage, again, very good. Not too salty. You don't immediately need some of that crisp, hydrating water afterwards.
Definitely enjoyable, and I will give it an 8 out of 10.
I would give it an 8.5 out of 10.
Lovely.
Colour? What's wrong with the colour?
They're bright
they're
yellow.
yellow. They're chips. That's what
It's
colour
fucking
chips
radioactive
are.
color. Look at that. They are like yellowy
I've
green.
had much yellower chips than that.
These are from Figgy.
What they're using in the potatoes is great. I think the salt coverage is good. It doesn't bring that great salty flavour that we have come to know from other chip shops, including Cuddy Cafe.
On a scale of cheeky to super cheeky, it's like mid-cheekiness with a dash of slay.
While the colour appears as if it is very salty and very fresh, these chips do not hit the mark. I'm going to have to give them a 4 out of 10.
Maybe a 7 out of 47.
I'm more of a crispy chip man, and this definitely satisfies that, and I'm enjoying the salt coverage. I'm a salty man as well.
First impressions of the Pete's Takeaway chips, very good.
Aesthetically, really not there.
It's not the strongest. The packaging is very oily. I feel like there was a lack of care in the presentation of these chips.
Very good crispiness, very good salt.
Type of potato, it's a little bit crisp, maybe overcooked.
In this state, right after being cooked, well salted, I'm actually giving it a decent rating. I'm still giving it a 6 out of 10. Would be higher if it looked more aesthetically pleasing.
These are some good middle of the road chips.
Me personally, I think Nathan's rating was a little bit harsh. I'm going to go with a very solid 7 out of 10 to start us off.
I think when consistency comes down to it, Chico's sometimes fails. I think it offers a great chip. Like you said, Marcus, the soggy factor comes in.
One important thing to talk about in rating these chips is the value. The value at Chico's is pretty hard to beat.
Chico's, as usual, very, very good.
It's nice salt on it, you know, pretty evenly distributed.
You know, it was a perfect level of seasoning.
The potatoes are exceptional. Salt coverage is excellent as always.
Tastes decent. Not the best chip I had, but no, I'll eat it again.
I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10.
8. A 9 out of 10.
If something's a 10, it's fucking amazing. It sounds like it's easy.
Toby, that's a really good chip.
You reckon you're like,
Whoa.
you're not like,
Whoa. Well, this is about chip quality. We're not talking about anything else. It's just about chips. The rating takes into account price as well, and I think with Chico's you can't go past. There's some places that are going to be upmarket. They're charging more. Are they matching that grill? More expensive, man.
you guys are all stupid.
I've been to Lavendi's and got their chips once before. I thought it was a nice chip, and I do like my salt, but I'll say there was a lot of salt on those chips. So I think the group's preferences will really shine through tomorrow.
Now, right off the bat, we paid $7 for this. And this is about the same amount we were getting. This is half full. About the same amount we were getting Chico's for $3.50.
The price point, I mean, $7,
This chip, feels empty to me. The salt coverage, this one that I'm having now is okay, but the first couple I had, there was really nothing on there.
Like Nathan said, paler. I feel like the salt and the chip clashes a bit. Almost like the salt isn't really with the chip.
But the actual potatoes, there's nothing there. You're just relying on the chicken salt.
It's unaesthetic. Inconsistent sizing, inconsistent seasoning.
It's nowhere near the level that we're expecting around this part of Wollongong.
I have to give them a 5 out of 10.
So it's a 5. That's it.
Fishnets is a bigger type of chip. You're going to get a lot of potato in the middle, and if you're not a fan of the potato game, you're really going to be on surprise tomorrow, and I think that's going to come into play with the ratings.
But before we dig into these chips,
here we go, folks, for your Chip Trip mid-market update. Will Chico's fight for victory alongside Cuddy Cafe? Will the underdogs, Woonona Beach Shop, or local favourites Fishnets pull through for a steal? We've got Chico's, Mr. Consistent, at a competitive price of $1.40, right ahead of Cuddy Cafe at $2.80. Now, if you like value, we're giving Fishnets a cracking $3.80. And if you're here for the outsider, Woonona Beach Shop, $4.20. But for all you gamblers out there who love a bit more than chump change, Figgy Kebabs, $500, enough said. Happy chipping, and of course, gamble responsibly.
$5 for a large container, and this was a small size.
Really hot, which I think is a great point, because firstly you can have them hot when you first get them, or you can take them home, they'll also be nice and warm.
Way better value than Lavendi and potentially Chico's.
So the texture of it actually reminds me of Lavendi's in that it's sort of like thicker.
Just like Lavendi, the flavour is solely coming from the chicken salt.
Unlike some of the other places, it's not like a chunky salt, it's like almost like a powder, and it actually tastes quite good on it.
You could just see the coating, the powder of chicken salt on it.
And it's a good chip, it's a favourite, it's got a nice layer of salt, really good texture, not too oily. I don't know what he was saying.
They're the same as the Lavendi's chips. They're just, the only thing difference is price.
I'd give it like a 6.5.
Here's the thing. I think I'm going to shock the world with this one. I think this is just under Chico's. Crispy, potato inside very soft, lots of chicken salt, very, very hot, which is good, that's what you want. And I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. Thank you.
Very good, very good. Wow, there's a lot.
Oh man.
That's a lot of chips.
It's like it was tough to buy it.
Well, there's no doubt about it, frankly. Unfortunately, Woonona Beach Shop has delivered the worst chip we've had so far.
It feels tough. Like it feels tough to actually bite into. I love a crispy chip so much, but it's not crispy, it's just hard.
The chips have a weird toughness to them. I'm not a fan of.
Doesn't really taste like chicken salt. I don't know what it is, frankly.
The chicken salt, it's alright. I've had better, I've had worse.
The value is there. This is actually the best value we've seen so far in the chip trip. $5, you get a lot here.
Overall though, the aesthetics do play into it a fair bit. I think it's some of the worst chip aesthetics I've ever seen.
But overall the chips, they just aren't very good. I'm gonna give them a 4.
A 4 out of 10.
Maybe just because of the temperature, a 6, but it's lucky.
4's generous. Well, there we go, folks. That wraps up our first ever chip trip. Don't actually know what the score is right now, so let's hand it over to Marcus in the studio. Thanks, Marcus. Thanks, Marcus, in front of a green screen pretending to be at the beach because he messed up the outro on the actual day. I'm trying my best, man. Well, it was barely a tough race, with early player Figgy Kebabs taking home the worst score by far thanks to that scathing 7 out of 47 rating. Lavendi, a cornerstone in the chip scene, received a disappointing 51% rating, with underdog Pete's Takeaway scoring a massive lead over the Wollongong favourite. Local Fishnets with a 71% came third to a breathtaking 80% from rural Cuddy Cafe, while our frontrunner Chico's took home a very impressive 83% to win the first ever chip trip. Back to you, Marcus, on the beach. Who are you kidding, you poser?
Wow, that's a pretty cool dog.